Come on. Brothers and sisters, I'm feeling real good because it ain't over. Right before I die, I gotta...
Good day. You are tuned into Dark Talk with the Prodigal Son, a podcast where we discuss mental health issues. This is your host, Zamuhle Masono. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I begin, I'd just like to send out a shout out to all those people who listened to the podcast yesterday. Thank you very much. Not yesterday, but last week rather. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, thank you very much. We've been getting feedback on the past podcast, and thank you very much. So before I begin the show, I'm just going to send a shout out to a few people who gave me feedback, and I appreciate them. Loud Ink, Dlamini, the poet, thank you so much, man, for listening last time. And he is starting now a series of poems on depression. So thank you very much, man. The feedback you gave was very well. And to my close friend William, thank you, man, for encouraging me, listening to the podcast and encouraging me. And also shout out to South Mulapo for also encouraging me on the last podcast. Thank you very much. Listening all the way from Philippines, I think. Thank you very much. Bless you. So today, on today's show, we're going to be talking about youth unemployment and depression in South Africa. So this is a very hot topic, and I can relate to this, because I was once an unemployed youth in South Africa. And when we talk about depression, and if you want a in-detail description of depression, please go back to the past podcasts or reach out to me on social media or go to our pages. You'll get there a definition of depression. We're not going to go deep into it, but we're going to talk more about the causes, and we're going to talk about unemployment also being one of the causes of depression. We all know that depression has a lot of causes, and one of them that we want to touch on today, life circumstances. Being unemployed as young people, it can lead to depression, and we probably won't be able to cover everything in the short time we have on Dark Talk, but we can talk about how unemployment can lead to depression. A life circumstance like unemployment can trigger depression. I think that is very sad that in South Africa, we see that we are in graduation month. People are graduating left and right, and congratulations to all those people who are graduating. It's a big achievement. But in South Africa, sometimes that also is not even a positive thing, because in South Africa there are so many unemployed graduates. Imagine giving, and university is not easy, guys. Imagine investing your time, your money in education, hoping that at the end of your degree, you're going to get employment and you're going to be able to pay back or give back to your family for taking you through school, but not being able to do that because there are no jobs around, And people are unemployed in South Africa. We talk about, let's look at the economy. It's bad. Majority of the black people in South Africa, black and colored, are unemployed, and it's an issue. It's a serious issue, and they're unemployed not because of their own doing, but because of the economy, because of how things are. So much so that people have degrees, multiple degrees, masters. People are talented, but people are unemployed. There's no market. They tell you that you are overqualified or you are underqualified. So many people sitting at home because jobs are just not available. So it's very depressing, It gets to a point where it works on you, where you've worked so hard all your life to attain. And this is not to those who have degrees only, but, some people go out of school and there's no way that you can go and even afford a university because there's no money at home, and you try and search for a job, and you search for, my neighbor finished school, I think, about 2 years back. And ever since he finished school, till today, he is still struggling for a job. And with no job, you have no means to support yourself or your family. You have nothing to eat, nothing to wear. That creates constant stress and worrying. What am I going to eat today? What am I going to wear? Are we still going to be able to afford rent in this place? So much so that it begins to work on you, and you begin to give up on the world, to give up on life. Your hope begins to dwindle, and you become discouraged because you are faced with a situation that is beyond you. People get tired of going to interviews and hearing no. People get tired of busy applying online and not receiving callbacks. People get tired of receiving employment that is temporary, contracts, and over time that works on them, and it changes how they think. It really works on them. I just want to take a short break, and when we come back, I want to talk more about this, and more about maybe how we as young people, what we can do about what we faced with this situation of unemployment, what we can do to avoid depression in the face of these circumstances that we face where we cannot find employment.
From the village life to the township, from the township to the city life, we about to move to the burbs on these niggas. Check. Uyakhumbula mngani wami, besithathela phansi, manje basidlela umona, 'cause we up, petty cup, and we up. Basasidlela umona, 'cause we up, petty cup, so we up. Basasidlela umona. How you like me now? I see you biting now. Lames wanna fight me now. Let's get it, Friday, I'm down. Touch on my chance, you kidding me? When everyone saying they feeling me, there's no way I'll let you belittle me. I don't play you no little league. Wake up and realize that I'm really nice, and I kill the mic, trying to do it right. From my crew tonight, pussy Sprite, now we'll sweetie pie, ice soup. You a fake ass, you a hating ass, got no life, ice soup. Trying to gate crash, where your gate pass, why you so loud, man? Yazibuza nami, kanti senzeni na mama.
Welcome back. You are still tuned into Dark Talk with the Prodigal Son. Your host is Zamuhle Masondo. Before the break, we were talking about unemployment as a life circumstance that can lead to depression, and how young people give up hope eventually when they cannot find a job. I want to say one thing, and that is, in black families, I don't know if it happens, but if you cannot find a job, and if you can't, after a while, parents look at you funny, people look at you funny. It's difficult for people to understand your struggle, and even church people, because you keep asking for prayers for you to get a job, and when you don't have a job, people look down on you. You don't have a job, you don't have money. People don't want to associate with you because you broke. And some people look at you, and they look at you as someone who's not productive, someone who's not moving forward, someone who's not serious about life. Like, why don't you get a job? Why don't you, be responsible? Why don't you buy a car? Why don't you move on in life? And those things are frustrating. To have people look at you like that, to have people look down on you, not knowing your situation, not knowing that you find yourself in this predicament that you yourself are trying to escape, but even the world around you, every time. They even made a joke about this, that, every time you even go and eat now, you become guilty because you do not contribute anything towards what's coming in at home. And let me say this, I don't know, I don't want to be critical or whatever, but I think that some unemployment, it works on us too much, and we begin to let ourselves go, and we begin to seek escapes, and most of us, You must just know that every time there's something unpleasant happening in your life, you will look for an escape. We will look for a way out. And most of us look for a way out to block away this thing of busy overthinking about our desperate situation of not having a job. And we seek an escape. People seek different escapes. Other people turn to television. Some people become addicted to television, and that's all they become attached to. They just watch TV the whole day, and that doesn't help. Watch TV, and your life at the end of the day is not productive. And you begin to waste your time. Imagine how much time you waste just watching TV. Other people fall into bad friends. Obviously, if you're unemployed, there are many unemployed people out there, and some of them who don't want a job. Their full-time job is to loiter the streets and look for trouble. And some people fall into this group where they fall into bad people, and they start experimenting with drugs and alcohol and whatever, and they catch on to this. Some people become addicted to social media. I don't know. We all have different escapes. I don't know what your escape is, but everyone has a different escape. And I feel that the downfall is where you get hooked on an escape, something that will make you forget your situation, something that will make you forget that you're unemployed. And now you end up with bad friends, or you end up with a bad habit. You become frustrated. You become despondent. You become depressed. And you go deeper and deeper in the hole. This is what I said I'm going to talk about. The fact that what can we as young people do? What can we do as the youth to prevent ourselves from succumbing to depression in times where we're struggling with what's happening, when we can't control what's happening, when we don't have anything to do? What do we do? I think that one thing we can do, which is one thing I did, is that still live a functional life. Find a purpose. Find something to live for. Because someone said that you might not have, there's no jobs, but there's a lot of work. There's always a lot of things to do, even though you are unemployed. There's always a lot of things to do. I think it's about stepping up. Number one, we can always volunteer. I know some people will say, we're tired of volunteering, but connect yourself to a cause and a purpose. Even if you're not making money at that time. I know it's frustrating, but connect yourself to a purpose and a cause. There are a lot of non-profit organizations out there. I volunteer at a couple. Connect yourself to something productive to make sure that you are involved in something that makes sense in the community. Do something. Wake up. Don't let yourself go. Take a shower, take a walk. There's always the library. Exercise. There's so much to do. And I'm panicking because we're running out of time. And maybe we can discuss this. I'll bring it back at a later podcast. These podcasts now are only to spark thoughts. So give me your feedback. Tell me what you thought about everything we talked about. But those are a few things that you can do. I'm just talking under pressure now. I'm trying to get everything in. But definitely, if you want to continue this dialogue with me, we can talk. But I think that there are definitely things that we can do as young people to prevent ourselves from going under, even when we're depressed. And this is the whole purpose of the podcast. I know I might not have done justice because of the limited time we have, but connect with me. We'll talk. I just don't want us to go under because of the situation we are in. But thank you very much for listening this week. That's all the time we have. That's all we can discuss this week. But tune in next week and we'll talk about this a little bit more. Thank you very much for listening. Signing out, the prodigal son. Talk. Bye.
Come on. Brothers and sisters, I'm feeling real good 'cause it ain't over. Right before I die, I gotta